Okay, so to continue, no, this time let's talk about the Carriage of Goods by Sea Act. In some of the cases which I already gave you before, no, this had already been mentioned, or this was already mentioned, and it's one of the governing laws, especially of course in maritime transactions. So the Carriage of Goods by Sea Act is applicable when the transportation is based on water or maritime transport. Of course, it carries the goods, and it can be either overseas, no, it is actually overseas, international, or foreign. Meaning, pag domestic, hindi natin gagamitin si COGSA. Okay? We use our local laws, we do not use the COGSA. And who are the parties? Of course, we have the carrier, which includes the charterer of the boat, and we have the shipper. And then, what are the duties of the carrier under the COGSA? You must make the ship seaworthy. Kung hindi, will be considered as at fault. And then, you must properly man, equip, and supply the ship. So, kompleto yung crew. Okay? You have captain, no, who is qualified, and then you must also supply the ship, so with fuel, food, and other provisions. And then you must properly and carefully load, handle, stow, carry, keep, and care, and discharge the goods. Remember, in one of the cases, noong inilalagay, nabasag yung paleta. So, ayun, kaya naghabol na ng damages yung shipper, kasi hindi na nga daw niya maipapadala yung semiconductor. I forgot the name of the case, but I'm sure you remember because it was recited. And another duty of the carrier under the COGSA is to make the holds, refrigerating, and cooling chambers. Kung saan man applicable. Remember, a ship, no, especially big ships, they carry a lot of cargo. So, some of the cargo are perishables, etc. So, kailangan nandun, or kailangan may mga specific temperature. So, you have to ensure that the cargo hold is fit for whatever kind of cargo it is going to carry. And then, it must issue to the shipper a bill of lading, or the list of items. Remember what a bill of lading is? Yun nga, it serves as a receipt, it serves as the contract also between the shipper and the common carrier. So take note of the 1-year prescriptive period. Okay. So when we say prescriptive period, any action, arising from this, under the COGSA, prescribes after 1 year. Okay. So when does it start? The prescriptive period of 1 year starts after the delivery of the goods or the date the goods should have been delivered. So let's say the goods should have been delivered by September 1st, 2025. Okay. Pero hindi dumating. 1 year later, wala pa rin. So dapat mag-file ka na ng action mo against the common carrier. Okay? Or let's say, dumating yung goods September 1st, 2025. Di mo kagad chinek, damage na pala yung kalahati. So, dapat within 1 year, kailangan mag-file ka na rin ng any claim for the damaged goods. Or kunulang yung goods, then that can also be a cause of action. Okay? So, but the period does not apply to conversions or missed deliveries. Okay. Can you reduce the 1 year period? No. But if you agree to suspend it, then that is valid. Okay. So, what if there was a collision? Yes, it also applies, pero the prescriptive period runs from the time that the goods should have been delivered. Okay. So, the prescriptive period is suspended only by the express agreement of the parties, no? Express agreement, written yon, written, and the filing of an action in court until it is dismissed. Now, kanina nasa dagat tayo. Punta naman tayo ngayon sa taas, sa langit. Let's talk about some nuances in aviation law. While in the cases which I have given you, there were also some which involve the carriage of passengers or goods by air. So take note that we have the Civil Aviation Authority Act of 2008, okay, which is now the governing law when we talk about aviation. Okay. Now, what about for international transportation by air? Then we have the Warsaw Convention. Okay. Now, when is the carrier liable, meaning the aircraft, the air carrier liable? Now, as to the passenger, if there was injury where on board the aircraft, in the course of any of the operations of embarking, in the course of disembarking, or when there was or because of delay. So, kayong mahihilig magbiyahe, and I'm also guilty of that, kailan natin pwedeng habulin? So, of course, if there was injury. Okay? So, what about if we check our baggage or our goods? So, if the damage occurred during air transportation or when there is a delay. So, in both cases, whether ikaw as the passenger who was delayed or the goods which you checked was delayed, then the carrier will be liable. So, kaya ano ginagawa ng ating mga carriers? Kunwari, Cebu Pacific, then aalokan ka ng something, di ba? Bigyan kayo ng extra ticket or credit or whatever. Ganon din ng PAL. O kaya, nag-overbook sila, so hindi ka maisasakay. So, sino yung willing, di ba, na ma-unload? Passenger unloading, and then bigyan namin kayo ng matutulugan, or bigyan namin kayo ng credit so that you can use it for your next travel, etc. But not all carriers do this. Some carriers they actually deny liability on this, and they insist on the agreement, the fine print on your ticket, etc. And a lot of times, if you buy the budget airlines ticket or yung mga promo, that's where they usually invoke na hindi applicable to or what, or up to this only, because the promo says that they will only be liable for this. Okay. Now, under the Warsaw Convention, the limit of liability is between $10,000 to $100,000. Now, for the check-in baggage, that is usually $20 per kilo. Now, the hand carry baggage is between $400 to $1,000 per passenger. Okay. Now, while most of the provisions in the Warsaw Convention is still relevant, take note that there was another issuance, another agreement, the Hague Protocol, which removed the provision that if the airline took all necessary steps to avoid damage, it could exculpate itself completely. Okay? Kasi dati sa Warsaw Convention ganun. So again, some airlines they use that as an excuse. Okay? But wala na ngayon yon. Okay? So airlines can now be held liable whether or not they are at fault. Okay. So, what are the special rules on the liabilities of our airline carriers? Now, what if there was bad weather or other circumstances beyond the pilot's control? Then the carrier will still be, of course, liable until they reach the port of destination and you have left the carrier's premises. So the carrier should still exercise diligence. Now let me illustrate this. For instance, ayun, nag-divert. Pupunta ka dapat ng Davao. Pero along the way, biglang sabi ng air traffic controller, emergency landing muna kayo dyan sa Cebu. Okay, so nandun sa Cebu, it was not within the control of the pilot because he was told by the CAA or the air traffic controller that he should deviate from the route. So still, while there, kung kayo man ay magdi-disembark dun sa plane or whatever, or nandun lang kayo sa loob, the airline should still be held liable. Now, overbooking, the airline will still be guilty, and liable for damages if it did not properly inform the passenger that it could breach the contract of carriage, even if they were confirmed passengers. Okay, so kasalanan kasi, di ba, nung airline yon, bakit nag-overbook. Now, why do they do this overbooking? To ensure that they have a full booking. Kasi remember, especially now that we do our own booking or airline reservation, nakakalat, masyadong nakakalat kung sino ang pupwede. Now, plus, take note that before, you can only book through the travel agencies, etc. Or mismo pupunta ka dun sa airline. So, usually their office is in Makati. Pupunta dun sa airlines and then doon ka bibili ng ticket. But now, with just a click of a button, with just your laptop, you can already book yourselves. So, overbooking is now a reality, and especially for promo flights. Okay? So, na-overbook yan. Now, if there was bad faith on the part of the airlines, then they will be held liable. So, again, what they usually do para hindi magalit yung mga pasahero is they offer certain rewards or whatever to compensate for the inability of that passenger to be on that flight due to overbooking. Now, what about open-dated tickets? Walang date, walang specific date, anytime pwede mong gamitin, parang ganyan. So, the airline will be liable if it refuses to confirm a passenger's flight reservation. Kasi nga, supposedly yun, diba, ay dapat mong i-honor because it is open-dated. Okay. Now, what if successive trips? Okay. Kunwari, let's say, from the Philippines, tapos pupunta ng Singapore muna, etc. So, usually, these are for long-haul flights. Ang final destination mo, kunwari, is US or Europe. So, walang direct flight from Manila to that destination. So, usually, different airlines yung magsaserve. So, what happens is, you can still be one. The airline, which issued, a confirmed ticket to the passenger, can be held liable for damages occasioned by the bumping off by one of the successive airlines. So, kunwari, ang binilan mo ng ticket is Turkish Airlines. Papunta ka ng Greece. Walang diretsyo. So, dadaan pa. Pagdating mo doon sa next stop, kung saan ka man, kunwari, pagdating mo sa Turkey, tapos biglang yung connecting flight mo going to Greece ay nawala, di ba? Sabihin na natin that it will now be a different airline, an airline which exclusively flies to, let's say, Santorini or Crete or whatever. Pero ang nag-book sa iyo ng lahat is Turkish Airlines, then Turkish Airlines will be liable for you if you are now unable to go to Santorini, Greece, because of their fault. Okay. So, why? Because, that is considered as a single operation. Now, why do we have this thing? Because not all, no, even the biggest airlines, they do not always have these direct flights, no. Syempre sa lalayo at sa dami ng mga destinations. So, and that's why it's a big thing whenever they announce that they have a direct flight, no, let's say Manila to San Francisco, etc. Because usually stages yung flight, especially for those long destinations. So, and since if they especially they do not have their own planes, no, for that route, they coordinate with other airlines which have that route. So, kunwari, yung American Airlines, kung wala silang diretso, so, stages, no, kung let's say, makakadalawa ka, no, dun sa mga successive trips mo, no, at iba yung carrier, then that is still considered as a single operation. So, the issuing carrier, no, will now be liable for the other trips. That is the rule. Okay? If there is, no, printed provision in the ticket saying limited liability, no, that kung ano lang yung ka sa actual na sumakay sa plane namin, doon lang kami liable, that is not allowed. Okay, that is prohibited. That will not exempt the carrier from liability, kasi nga hindi ka naman makakarating doon sa final destination if you're not going to use the other planes. And because they issued the ticket for those other phases of the trips, then they should be made liable if due to their fault or negligence, you were unable to make the other stages or phases of the trip. Okay. So, there's also a prescription, no, and kailangan ka maghahabol, no. So, in international carriers, the baggage within 3 days from receipt, no. In case of delay or delivery, within 14 days from the time the baggage was placed at the disposal of the passenger. And let's say, if goods, no, from 7 days from delivery. So, kapag na-deliver sa'yo, then obviously your cause of action would be damage to the goods or to the baggage. Now, pag totally hindi mo na-receive, then that is a loss. Okay? So, within 2 years from receipt in case of an action to damage to passengers' baggage. Okay? Then, where do you file it? The court where the carrier is domiciled, okay, or where the carrier has its principal place of business, or has an establishment by which the contract has been made, or the court of the place of destination. So, meron namang choice if you want to file a claim. And this is especially nice to know. Why? Because we are now a traveling, generation. Unlike before, when traveling was a privilege and not a lot of people were able to travel, nowadays, a lot of people, because of the budget airlines, because of there's no visa policy in a lot of countries, especially in Southeast Asia, at least once in your lifetime, usually, you can go out, even just somewhere here, a neighboring country. And a lot of the younger generation, of course, makes it part of their bucket list to travel. So, airline travel, has become a bit more reasonable, the price, it's more affordable, and therefore a lot of us travel. So it's nice to know what you can do if ever your flight is delayed, and you suffered damages because of it, your baggage is lost, or it was damaged, and or it was delayed, and that is the worst thing that could happen to you. Let's say you don't have anything in your carry-on, it's all in your baggage, and then napunta sa iba, di ba? Ang pupunta ka ng Rome, napunta yung bagahe mo somewhere else. So it's good to know that we have all these remedies in case there is some fault or negligence on the part of the airlines whenever we travel. Okay, so that's about it, and I hope that you will read, no, the cases which I have assigned. I will also give out some more, no, if I have the time. I will do it, maybe tonight or maybe tomorrow, so that you can add it to your reading list in preparation for your exam. Again, the coverage of the exam is the Philippine Competition Act, the Data Privacy Law, and Transportation Law. Of course, the bulk of the questions will come from Transportation Law because it's the longest of the three. I decided not to not to separate, no, the two special laws because medyo konti pa lang naman siya. So maybe expect 2 to 3 questions on the two special laws, and the rest of the questions would come from Transportation Law. So with that, let me end this lecture, and good day.